Good morning. I'm here in the garden of the Quintus Hostel here in Athens. I'm getting ready to go on a little adventure. I'm going to walk to the port of Piraeus. So why don't you come with me and see what it's like? We'll see the sights and sounds of Athens. I can already hear quite a lot of construction work going on. I think they're rebuilding the Acropolis or something. Let's go and have a look. So, with Closely Observed World, I'm Christopher Walker. I've only had one night here in Athens so far, and I got in fairly late at that. But so far, I have to say I love the place. Went out to buy a kebab last night. Well, didn't set out to buy a kebab, or gyros. That's just how it ended up. So it was getting dark, I was wandering around, and I saw this place, a couple of people sitting out the front drinking, and I thought, you know what, I should try here. There's not even a word of English on the signs anywhere. But I was a bit nervous, as I usually am in such situations. The guy inside called, "Hello!" like this. I said, "Oh, do you have an English menu? I'm still learning how to read Greek." He said, "No." "Well, what do you want? Chicken, beef, lamb?" I was like, "Well, I don't know what you're making." He said, "Gyros! It's the kebabs." Alright. Whatever then, I'll have something. "You want a beer?" "Yeah, how much?" And he said $2.50 for the kebab thing, $2.80 for the beer. Well, I'd already broken a 10 getting the ticket to the town on the bus. That was $5.50. So I had €4.50 in change in my pocket. So I reached for that change. Still not completely used to the euros. It's not a currency that I got a lot of experience with, so a little bit unsure of the different coins. He looked at what I had in my hand. It's okay, it's okay. So he just took that, and I had my dinner, and it was great. It's nothing better than nice, tasty food and a beer after a day spent traveling. So I like this place so far. First impressions count for a lot, and mine have been very positive. So I've reached as far as Syntagma Square. Syntagma Square is the part of Athens that you generally see when Athens or Greece is in the news. So not the Acropolis, because that's kind of the touristy sort of thing to show. If there's some sort of protest going on because of workers' rights or pensions, then usually there'll be a crowd forming here, and you'll see it on Euronews or BBC or whatever. It's all quiet right now. People are going to and fro, maybe to work, to school, something like that. It's pretty nice. I'll take a quick look. The sun's on the wrong side of us to take a good photo though, unfortunately.
know anything of Greek mythology? Just maybe. Yeah, this is all the way to school.
I've just done most of a circuit of the ancient agora, and of course you keep turning a little bit to the right, a little bit to the right, a little bit to the right, before you know it, you're heading back the way you came. But I realised just in time, because otherwise that would have cost me several kilometres of walking. I looked at the map and it seemed like I was heading back to Syntagma Square. I thought, that can't be right, I left that place ages ago. So I think I'm on the right track now. I'm trying to use Google Maps as sparingly as possible to see if I do actually have a good sense of direction. I've often claimed to friends that I do, but I have a funny feeling that I don't. I'll never forget when I was in Plovdiv in Bulgaria back in 2009. I looked at the map for the hostel, and then I spent several hours going up and down the same street looking for this hostel, all of the time not knowing that I'd held the map upside down, so I was coming at everything from the wrong direction. It happens. Have you got a story like that? Have you ever gotten lost on a trip somewhere? What happened? Was it interesting? Was it fun because of that? You should let me know. Right, on we go. Hopefully soon start to get a sense of approaching a body of water. At least that's the hope. And I think once I get to Piraeus, that's when I can stop and have my first coffee of the day. I don't want to rush these things. I have had a little bit of breakfast. I went into a little supermarket. Fantastic little place, actually. The woman in front of me had a basket full of everything. So the lady working at the cash register called forward and said, "Oh, are you paying cash or card?" Because they had a self-service machine, so I could use my card if I was doing that. I said, no, cash. So she took my bottle of water, which was 14 cents, and my green apple, which was 20 cents. And when I handed her a 20 euro note, she didn't even bat an eyelid. Thank you very much. Wow. Right, on we go with the walk. Kalimera. So with the ceaseless noise and the hustle and bustle, and the fact that there's something going on every street corner and down every side alley, and you just never know what you're going to find when you turn another corner. Of all the places I've been to, The one that this reminds me of most is probably Hanoi in Vietnam. Similar narrow streets, the traffic, have to watch your step everywhere. I think that the scooter riders there are a little bit more forgiving than the Greek taxi drivers, that's for sure. But otherwise, yeah. And that, believe me, is a real compliment, because Hanoi is one of my favourite cities in the whole world. And the more I look around Greece, the more I love Athens. Well, I haven't seen anything apart from Athens yet, so I can't really say for the rest of Greece. But usually when I talk to people about Greece, they talk about the wonderful islands. They're like, oh, you've got to go to Crete, you've got to see Hania, you've got to go to Mykonos, and Kos and Lesbos and everything like that. I'm sure they're right. But I love Athens. I really do. This city has just blown me away. And I'm not even talking for all the Greek ruins. It's not even that I find so appealing. You know, I don't really feel any compunction to go and see them, to be honest. I just love the city. It's the most lively and alive city I've been in for a while, and I love it. This is great. Got to keep exploring. Wow, now that is a bakery. Look at this. It's like a supermarket just for baked goods. Incredible. Well, I imagine it must be quite close now. One of the great things about these long, straight streets here in Athens is that you can see quite a long way, unless there's a rise or a fall in the land, and then you might have your view obstructed by something. But I can see some boats, I can see a bit of water down ahead of where I'm going, so I just need to stay on this road and I'll be at least by the water very soon. Whether that's Piraeus or it's another part of the area, we'll have to find out. You might be wondering why I wanted to go to Piraeus. After all, I've only just arrived in Athens, surely I want to see the sights. Sure, yeah, I do. But I thought that walking to a distant location would show me a bit more of the city something that I wouldn't otherwise see. A little bit like many years ago when I was in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. I arrived early one morning, I think it was about 6 o'clock, long before check-in at the hostel, and the lovely young lady at the hostel said, well, why don't you go and have a look around the city now? And she showed me on a map where all the highlights were, you know, the cathedral and things like that. And I nodded and I said, yeah, that sounds good. And as I came out of the hostel, instead of turning left to go the way that she'd suggested, I turned right. And I spent a very enjoyable day getting lost in the city, seeing the side of Ho Chi Minh that most people don't get to see. And that's what I wanted to do here. And I think I've done it. It's really been interesting to see Athens almost through the eyes of an Athenian. And if you really want to say that you like a place or that you've fallen in love with it, you need to see everything about it, not just the pretty parts. And the other reason, I suppose, to go to Piraeus is that having spent so much time the last however many years in Bielsko, which is nestled in the mountains in the deep south of Poland, you're about as far from a sizable body of water as you can get. So, for example, whenever I'd go up to Gdansk or to the Baltic coast, it was just pleasant to see the water. There's something very refreshing about it. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And also, you know, a busy harbour, a port. Ooh, that will be interesting. I'll get my camera out for that one, definitely. Right, on we go. I don't know what this is, but I am curious to find out. The places on either side of me are said to be so-called green roofs. So the idea is that there must be some sort of structure under my feet right now. I have a feeling it might be even the National Library or something like that. I'll soon find out. Yeah, here we are. Look, they're talking about this NLG green roof. Interesting. National Library of Greece, the Greek National Opera and the car park green roofs. Wow. Okay, well, that explains what this probably is then. Gosh, I would not have known to come here. Look at this. There is the port, and I think off to my right somewhere we've got Piraeus. Wow, there's even like a warship there or something. Yeah, and I'll be walking over towards that hilltop later. Well, I said previously no coffee before Piraeus, but I don't think I'm going to get a better spot than just here. I'll go and find out what it's like, what sort of view we've got. Oh, okay, first though, let me show this to you because this is brilliant. Okay, so we can see everything over just there. Yeah. But then here's a little description of what we're looking at. So that interesting building looks like a seat that somebody sat on. That's the Olympic Faliro complex, whatever that is. We can see the Peloponnese Islands off in the distance. Then it's Phaleron Bay just here. Salamine is off in the distance too. I think you can just about make it out. It's a bit hazy. Wow, what a great place to come to. Well, so much for the idea of getting a quick coffee there. The little cafe thing was closed. Oh well, there's still plenty more walking to be done, although it is getting hot. Hotter and hotter, and the shade is harder and harder to come by, especially around here. This is a big open space, and it's really the first big open space I've been to here in Athens. The rest of the city is designed with these narrow streets with the buildings up high around you to offer some shade everywhere you go. Or even then I was making sure to cross the road to go on the side with the most shade. So on we go. I've seen Piraeus, I can see it in the distance, but I haven't been there yet, so it doesn't count. So I have to keep pushing on, get the rest of the way there. So we'll say goodbye to this fine building, and let's hope to return one day when the situation is a bit better and we don't need masks and we can go inside. That would be grand. Well, this is a proper residential area. I'm gasping for a drink, but I haven't passed a shop in ages, and I haven't even seen any cafes for about 8 or 9 minutes. That's a record. You used to be able to go from one cafe to the next just in a blink, but not here. Could do with a drink. Got a bottle of water earlier, that didn't last too long. Should have bought a bigger bottle. Well, I'm sure I'll find something soon. Getting closer and closer to Piraeus. Oh, there's a kitten. Oh, it's disappeared under a car though. Over my shoulder there, I think that's the home of Olympiacos Football Club. One of the biggest clubs in Europe, really. Sadly, there's no game happening whilst I'm here. It'd be lovely to go and watch one there. Look at that stadium, that looks good. Olympiacos way of life, cause of death. Interesting. There it is, one more time. That's a grand stadium. So, here I am then in Piraeus. I walked all the way from Athens to get here. I checked Google Maps before I left and they said it's about 10 kilometers if you walk in a straight line. Clearly I didn't do that, so I've actually covered more like 20. I set off, gosh, what would it have been, like 8:30, something like that, and it's currently nearly 1:30. This will be the first time I've sat down actually. So I've ordered myself a Greek coffee. I don't know what the prices are supposed to be like. I'm going to be paying about €3 for my coffee. Hopefully that's the going rate. I suppose it's not far off what I'd pay if I was back at a posh cafe in Poland. Now, I feel like I've earned it anyway. and then I'm going to try and make my way back home, as in back to Athens, and to the Quinta Hotel there, or hostel. Feels like a hotel though, it's a real boutique sort of place. If you're in Athens anytime and you're looking for somewhere to stay, I recommend it actually, it's really nice. Very friendly staff, it's a great place. Alright. I'm shattered. No visit to the port would be complete without a visit to the port. So here I am, and this concludes my trip for today. I've had a look at the ferries, there's a cruise ship over there in the distance. Oh, I think I've done all right actually. A long walk, I feel shattered, but in a very good way, and now I'm going to see what I can do next. So stay tuned for more videos from Greece. I'm Christopher Walker with Closely Observed World.